Hi, my name is Pete Hahn, and thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of video tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Okay, in today's video I'm going to be covering some new territory. I'm going to be describing how to use the strategies in the Thinkorswim platform. Now, if you've never heard of strategies and you've never experimented with them and what you see on my chart looks foreign to you, then whether you're a newbie with Thinkorswim just getting started or a seasoned veteran, I think this video is about to blow your mind. So be prepared to hit the pause button if you need to take a break. Go grab a cup of coffee and meet me back here. Okay, later on in the video I will be posting a link to an indicator for a strategy that I'm going to be giving away, but it's going to be in the video later on, embedded within the video, because you really need to understand this stuff before you just go download it and put it into your platform. Okay guys, before we go any further, I figured I'd take a little break here and give you a summary view of everything that's going to be covered in this video. You're going to see the strategies in the Thinkorswim platform. You're going to see how to adjust the settings. You're going to see how to plot a P&L graph in a lower subgraph of the chart. You're going to understand how the code is making the buy and sell decisions. You're going to get a link to the code. I'm providing you my own custom indicator, and I'm going to provide a link later on in the video. I want to make sure you understand how to use it thoroughly and adjust all the settings before I give it to you. If you have it in your hand right now and you haven't used strategies before, it will do nothing but frustrate you, trust me. So please bear with me. So what else are we going to show you in this video? The P&L graph can be exported. If you right click over one of these strategies and you hit show report, it will bring up a list of all your buys and sells based upon that strategy and give you some totals at the bottom. If you hit export file, you can select a location to export that. I've already done so, so I'm going to hit cancel and close. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Here's an example of what the report looks like. It opens up in Internet Explorer. Now, if you go ahead and highlight so that you select all this stuff and right click and copy, you can go ahead and go to an Excel spreadsheet and right click and paste. And there you have all your trades there in a spreadsheet. If you're trying to analyze a strategy, what better tool to use than Excel? And if you know how to use it and build formulas like I've done here in sheet 1, just by adding 3 simple columns, I'm able to show that this strategy for this particular stock produced 57% wins. You can scroll down to the bottom here and you can see the overall P&L was 1163. Okay, so now that you see the summary version of everything that we're going to cover in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to do all this. Stick with me, it's going to be really exciting. Okay, as the chart I'm displaying now is indicating, it's got a strategy built into it. Now, these are strategies. Let me show you where they're at first. We'll go to Studies, go to Edit Studies, and you can see there's 3 tabs here. And many of you are probably seeing this for the very first time, even though it's been here for years. There's a Strategies tab. And you can see there are very many strategies that are already loaded by default by the Thinkorswim platform. So what I've done is I've added a couple of these to my chart. The volatility band is presently turned off, and the one being displayed is called a long haul. And if you click the gear icon, that will take you into the settings. And you can see there is a new type of setting here called orders. And you can tab through each of these, and it just depends on what the strategy is and which order types it makes available to you. And you can change how they affect, whether it's auto or to open or to close. You can see it shows you it's a buy side here, this one's the sell side, and this one's the sell side, and it's labeled as a stop. So this one has a long entry, a long exit, and a stop for a long position. So we'll go ahead and hit cancel here because that's about all I've got to show you there. and now we'll hit cancel here as well. Okay, let's zoom into this chart because you can see there's a lot of different little indications showing entries and exits. So let's zoom into this one right here so we get a little bit more detail on that. Zoom in there. So now you can see over here on October 21st, and this is a daily chart, and you can see that there's a long haul, long entry signal for 100 shares here at the open. And you can see this dashed line is connecting the entry with the exit. So the exit is labeled as a long haul cross LX. So it didn't hit a stop. What it did is it hit the reversal point. The logic is built into the indicator. And if you guys want to study those indicators, we'll go back to study, edit studies, and we'll look at this long haul. If you click on the scroll icon here, actually it's a script icon, I keep calling it a scroll icon. This is all there is to that strategy. And what makes it a strategy is the order statements down below here. Everything else is very simple. I mean, there's not a whole lot here when you're talking about what logic makes up a decision to buy versus a decision to sell. And I'm not going to bore you with the details of how to read this code and understand it. If you're interested, drop me a line, put a note in the bottom of the comments here, and if I get enough interest, I'll be more than happy to read this code for you and interpret it in human language. But for now, trust me, your brain's going to be full just taking in all the new stuff here. Okay, so we've got a close-up view of the entries and exits. I want to show you there's a button down here in the lower left that, trust me, it's been there for years. It's not something new. You've probably never seen it there before, or if you did, you didn't know what it was for. So you go to Global Strategy Settings, and in here is where you can set your defaults. You can set your defaults for how many entries you can have in the same direction. You can make some choices here on whether the order is generated by a different entry order or whether the entry is generated by the order regardless of the entry point. Default trade size for entry orders, 100 contracts. That can be overridden by the study itself, and the one that I create that I'm giving away for free has the trade size available as an input. So you can actually modify that manually instead of having to go here to your global settings, which is going to affect every one of your strategies. The study that I'm providing is, and I should stop calling it a study, it's actually a strategy, significantly different than a study. But the one that I'm providing is going to have an input so that you can set your trade size independent of your global settings. Now here's an interesting little thing. We'll look at the floating point P&L. We'll check that box, we'll hit OK, and then we'll hit apply, and you'll immediately see what that is. Hit OK, and you can see that during this trade, this theoretical trade, where you have a long entry here and you have a long exit here, you can see that the P&L graph slowly rises as the stock price rises. And after the exit, the equity curve falls flat because the position's empty. There's nothing to go up or down. So it's flat until there's another entry signal. I'm just going to scroll to the right here so you can see how this P&L graph goes up and down depending on how the trade strategy works out. There's nothing pretty flat. There's a couple of little short little things that get kicked out real quick here. Scroll back more. Okay, that's about all we got here for that strategy. So double click here so we can see the entire what kind of span do I have here. I'll go to style, daily. I got 1 year worth of daily bars is what I've got displaying here, and you can add more if you wanted to. So hopefully this whets your appetite, and now I'm going to get in and show you the study that I created. I'm going to show it to you piece by piece, show you how it makes the trade decisions so you understand it, and then we'll get on to more detail after that. And boy, is there a lot more detail to cover. Thanks for sticking with me through that rather long intro. I want to make sure that I cover this in sufficient detail because I have a feeling that there's a lot of Thinkorswim users out there that have never seen this or don't know how to use it. Maybe they looked at it once and it scared them away and they don't really know how to utilize it. Well, I want to show you guys how to make use of this tool. I think it can be helpful. I think it can save you some time. I think it can give you some valuable feedback on the strategies that you have in mind. And I want to take this time to let you guys know that I'm not a professional trader. I'm not giving away any holy grails here. I'm not trying to recommend any kind of trading strategy at all. I don't want to come across as trying to recommend that I know when you should buy and when you should sell, because I don't. I know how to write code. I know how to customize the Thinkorswim platform. Apart from that, please don't put too much into what you see here as far as profit and loss. It's just I'm showing you how to use the tool. Okay, so let's go to Studies, Edit Studies, and now I will turn off the long haul so we can clear up that chart a little bit. I hit the gear icon and uncheck the Show Study box, hit OK, and then hit Apply and OK. So you can see now we've cleared everything out. The P&L is at 0. Alright, so now Studies, Edit Studies, and now I want to show you, let's see, we're going to turn on the stochastic full. So I'll flip that switch on, Show Study, hit OK, and then we're going to turn this on. This is a lower study. It's a lower study version of the strategy that I will be posting a link to and giving away later on in this video, so stay tuned. We'll hit the gear icon, click Show Study, OK, Apply, and OK. So the P&L graph is still flat because I have not enabled any of the strategies in the price chart. You can see I've got a stochastic full. It's equivalent to a stochastic slow, and in the center section of the lower subgraphs I have my signals for buying and selling. So let me zoom in here on a little time span so that you can see the logic that's taking place. The blue line represents the entries. The pink line represents the exits. Now the blue line has nothing to do with the stochastic full. Okay, the blue line is based upon price action and price action alone. The pink line is the one that is based on the stochastic full. So let me explain this spike in the blue line. The spike in the blue line occurs here on this bar, and what it's looking for is a pivot low. You have to have a series of bars. You have to have a lower low, okay, followed by a lower low, then you have to have a higher low, followed by a close above the high of the lowest bar. So this is the low bar right here that I'm outlining with my cursor, and this bar right here where the spike in the blue line occurs is the first close above the high of that bar. That gives the signal. Again, I'll show you over here. Got another set of bars. There's a blue signal right here. Now you've got a series of lower bars. Then you've got this one here that makes the lowest low in the series. Then you've got this bar here that has a close above the low of that bar that has the lowest low in the series. So we call that a pivot low. This is what professional traders will use. For instance, it's similar to the TTM scalper alert. Okay, very similar. If you plot those along with this, you would see some similarities there. And one last signal I'll show you really quick here. Again, we got two lower lows, and then we want to break above the high of this bar for that signal to occur, and that's exactly what's occurring here on this bar. So the pink line is being derived from the slow D on the stochastic, which is the magenta line. You could call it hot pink, but it's technically magenta. And what it's doing is it's waiting for the entry signal, and after a certain number of bars it flips on and it counts 2 bars of lower values in the slow D before it signals an exit. So it's going to sell if you get 2 bars of lower slow D on the stochastic full. That's it in a nutshell. Okay? So we'll go over here and we'll take a look at a theoretical trade, and once I enable the indicator that I've built for you guys, you'll see by the plots in the price graph how this works out. So we have an entry signal here, and then we don't have an exit signal until here, based upon the slow D finally making 2 consecutive bars of lower values. Okay, so the exit will occur over here. Okay, so now that you understand where the signals are derived, we'll go ahead and enable the strategy in the price graph and then match those up for you so you understand exactly what's taking place, what the rules are, why it's buying and selling, and then we'll get on to even more detail after that. Okay, so here I've updated the chart by enabling the indicator that I'm going to give away. And what is that indicator called? Let's go to Studies, Edit Studies, and I'm calling it Strat for Strategies, Pivot Reversal, Slow D Reversal. And reversal is abbreviated there. So it's based upon a pivot for an entry, and it's based upon a slow D for an exit. Okay, hit cancel. You can see I've got the P&L on the bottom. I have these signals plotted in the middle subgraph, and in the top subgraph I've got your stochastic full. And we can zoom in. This is a section we just reviewed. I'm going to zoom in there, and now I can explain to you how these signals are functioning to generate your entries and exits. So here's your blue spike up. That indicates that this bar closed above the high of the lowest low bar, and since it has to close before the signal is valid, we don't enter until the open of the following bar. So in practice, let's say you were actually trading this strategy, you would see the signal post at the close of the day, and you would, in the next morning, if you decided to place that order, you would execute it to execute at open. That's how you would get it to match up with how the strategy is portrayed on your screen. You can see there's a red line, a red dashed line here because this is a loss, and you can see there's a slow D reversal here. So what's occurred is, even though you had an entry, you had the slow D climbing, even though price was falling, the slow D was still climbing because it's slow after all, right? And then we finally get 2 consecutive bars of lower slow D, and that triggers the strategy to post a sell. Then you have an entry here, which is entered at the open of this bar, and then pretty quickly you see that the strategy shows that the slow D was moving downward, and then you have an exit just 2 bars later, and there's a small profit there. You can see the P&L responding accordingly. So we can scroll to the right a little ways here. This was the other signal that I had pointed out to you, and again we have the blue spike here. The open after that is where the entry is occurring, 108.95, and then the dashed blue line, I think that's a blue line, goes all the way up until you get a slow D reversal at 130, and the pink line here, okay, spikes upward, indicating that you had 2 consecutive bars of lower slow D values, and that is what triggered the exit. Alright, so it's pretty much, that's basically it. That's all there is to it. The logic is in there, and then I posted the order control, and the code does what it's supposed to do. Now I do want to show you in a broad view. Double click down here to open that up to a full 1-year span, and you can see all the signals are jumbled up together, and it's really difficult to tell what the strategy is doing, but you can see the P&L curve. So let's review a couple of charts here. We'll look at a few of these, and you can look to see how this strategy does. And I didn't really cherry pick. What I did is I selected some charts to share with you so that you could see that it does lose a lot of money as well as make a lot of money. So there you go. That's the way these strategies go. It's all in the money management. That's where the professional traders make their money. So don't get too hung up on the strategy and the indicators and holy grail and stuff like that. It doesn't exist. It's money management. It's trade management, controlling risk. So anyhow, I want to show you another feature of this indicator, and then I'll be ready to show you how to export the information in the lower price graph into an HTML file that you can open up in Internet Explorer, and then you can copy and paste that into Excel. Okay, but first I'm going to show you how this indicator can be flipped around to do shorts, not just longs. Okay, are you ready? Because this is a really complicated process here to flip this around from long to short. I want to make sure you understand it. Studies, edit studies, locate the study in the plot there, then click the gear icon, and then you see in the top of the inputs is something called direction. All right, it defaults to long. Change it to short. Hit OK and apply and OK. That's it. That's the complicated, long, drawn-out process. It's that simple. You just change it from long to short and it's done. So you can see the P&L has changed accordingly. Let's take a look at one that I reviewed earlier that seemed to do really well with a short signal. Okay, this is 3D. It's a 3D printing company, and you can see that it tanked and got slaughtered, and you know, this strategy got lucky. It caught a runner. So let's review a couple of more of the charts. While I've got it on the short side, you can see that when the stock's trending up, this strategy gets slaughtered. And trading sideways, the strategy sort of, you know, makes money, loses money. You know, you're just trading cards with other players. So, okay, let's look at one more chart here so you can get an idea. All right, so hopefully those charts tell you that this isn't the magic, you know, holy grail. You're not going to make a whole bunch of money with just following the buy and sell signals. You're going to have to apply some sort of filters to it to help identify higher probability entries. You know, follow the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. There's a whole lot of other little cliches in the trading world. But in the end, like I said, the professionals that I've seen that show that they can make money at it, they do it all through your money management. It's how much they risk and how much they make, and they're very disciplined with that. So great. So now you've seen the short side, the long side, the indicator. I'll be posting very shortly, so stick with me here. I just want to show you a couple of more steps, how to export the P&L out to Internet Explorer, how to get that into a spreadsheet. I'll show you that next, and then we'll post a link so that you can download this strategy and get it into your Thinkorswim system. And we are in the home stretch here. If you've stuck with us this long, I really appreciate it. Again, there's a lot to cover here. If you guys are really interested, if this video gets a lot of viewership, if you guys are really interested in seeing more on strategies and how to convey your own ideas and build your own strategies, if you need help with all that stuff and you want to see more videos on this topic, please, by all means, leave comments on the website or on the YouTube channel, somewhere associated with the video. There's usually a comment section below the video. If you put it there, and that way other people can see what your ideas are, and hopefully that maybe spurs their thoughts and comments, and we get a good discussion going. We'll see. You know, maybe there won't be any interest at all, and the video will just kind of be a dud. Yeah, you never know. So, all right, so let's wrap things up here. I will show you how. Let's zoom in so that we can get a close-up view, and we can right click over. This is the easiest way to get to that report. You just hover your mouse over one of the entry or exit signals, it matters not, and you right click, and then you get a shortcut menu that is different than if you had right clicked over an empty section of the chart. Okay, so you right click over either the text of that signal or the arrow. You right click and select show report, and then you can view the report. Now if you like what you see and you want to try to analyze what's going on there, it looks like a total P&L. This is a total loser overall, apparently. Okay, so you go ahead and press the export file button, and then you select a location in your computer that you want to store this. For me, I've got a special folder for Thinkorswim. And then you want to change this. This is a very important step here. I hope you're not missing this. Files of type. Change it to HTML. If you save it as a .csv file, then it will open in Excel, and you won't be able to use any of the information because it comes through as an HTML document. So you have to save it as an HTML document. So we'll go ahead and save that, and we hit close. It's been exported, so we'll go to the place where we exported that. You can see there's the Amazon that I just exported. We'll double click, and then here it is. This is what it looks like. Okay, and in order to get this into Excel, fortunately they formatted it in a way that all you have to do is click and drag. So all I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging very carefully to select only the text within the table, nothing else. Okay, and then I can right click, select copy. I can go to an Excel document with an empty sheet. I can right click and select paste. And there you have it. It's that simple. Now that you've got your strategy results input to a Excel spreadsheet, well, if you guys are you guys out there that are spreadsheet junkies, you gotta have a field day. You're gonna be able to slice and dice this thing like nobody's business. And imagine you can, click through your charts and export the report for multiple stocks and put them all into spreadsheets and then analyze that, slice and dice it. For you guys that are really into that kind of analysis, it's going to be fun stuff. So let me show you what I've done here with sheet 1. I did this previously with a different report, and I added columns J, K, and L. And all I've done is I've added some simple formulas in here. I'll show you what the formulas look like. Okay, and that formula is just copied down to the bottom. And then in here I just count the column. So I've got a series of ones and zeros depending on whether it was an entry or an exit. And then over here in this column I count up the values in this column here, and the column values are derived from this formula. And this formula, all it is doing is it's checking to see if we had an entry or an exit. If it was an exit, then it checks to see if the trade P&L was positive or negative. If it was positive, it puts a 1. If it was negative, it puts a 0. That's it. So that enables me to count the total number of wins. So with the total number of trades and the total of wins within that group of trades, you can do some simple division to arrive at your percentage wins. Now you can do things like, what's your average profit, what's your average loss, and you can start to, with Excel and Excel formulas, if you guys are familiar with that stuff and comfortable in that environment, you can really analyze this, slice and dice it. And here is one very, very important difference between importing a study versus importing a strategy. For you regular viewers of this channel, you understand already how to install a custom study that you download from my Google Drive into your Thinkorswim platform. Well, there is a slight difference for downloading and installing a strategy, and I want to show you right now. If you see this screen here, you're not going to be able to load the strategy that you download from this video. You see this file type, study? Well, the file that you download is a different file type, so it will not appear in the list. So you hit cancel, and then you want to change over to the strategies tab, and then you want to click import. And now that you're looking for strategy file types, locate the folder where you downloaded the strategy from the Google Drive, and then it will allow you to import the strategy indicator that you downloaded. Okay? Very, very important. Way you want. So with that, let me go ahead and post the link to the video now. I really appreciate you guys sticking around this long. I wanted to make sure that you had the full view of what you can do with strategies. And believe me, this is really just kind of as fast as I could do it, a review of Thinkorswim strategies. Boy, we can get into this in so much deeper detail. If you guys find it a useful tool and you're interested in it and you want to experiment and you want to take your trading ideas and put them into strategies that you can analyze them like this, then just leave comments in the video, and if there's an interest for it, then I'll cover it in more detail in future videos. Okay, so have fun with this indicator. Again, like I said, it's not a holy grail, but you understand how it works. I showed that to you, and hopefully that will help you to take your own ideas and build your own strategies, and or you can use the built-in strategies that are in Thinkorswim's platform and experiment with those. Who knows, maybe you find something there that that makes money and it's already built for you, and all you got to do is manage your risk reward and start trading. Who knows, it might be there. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I appreciate sticking around for such a long video. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Thanks, and take care.